Like, I've always thought that when you translate, you need two people. You need somebody to actually translate from, the original language to the new language. But then you need a fluent speaker that a second person to just go over it and, make the sentences a little bit more fluid in that language. Maybe that's just me. That seems like the best way to translate, though.
Data access approval granted.
All right. Data 7. Observation regarding Darnold Marquand, temporary representative to the planet Abraxas, Archon Zone during the late TC 4600s, amidst a climate of reconciliatory policies. Polices? It's got to be policies. Between the immigrant fleet and the Galaxy Federation, definitely was supposed to be policies. He was suspected of controlling a far right-wing organization in favor of the Federation. In an effort to wipe away the scandal, he assembled a group of children who had inherited the bloodline of the immigrant fleet in Abraxas' galactic control and formed the Goodwill Ambassadorship. He held an amnesty summit to bring the immigrant fleet and Galaxy Federation together. However, the event was targeted by a mysterious individual. He resigned as a result of an investigation into his involvement in the ambassador lockup incident. So he kind of staged the whole thing. All right, number 8. Yeah, in case this sounds familiar,
Data access approval granted.
it's more Pied Piper. View data 8, like seriously, make that a full game. Ugh. Observation regarding Miky Aortsmann. Skilled operator for the Federation Police Special Ops Command, he was well versed in all things regarding the UMN and other networks. He supported the Special Investigations Unit from outside as they dove into the virtual space within the UMN. He was killed in the line of duty, a victim of brainjacking while on a case. Yeah, brainjacking apparently a thing of the past. I'm not entirely sure what kind of safeguards there are against it now, but there seem to be some.
All data checks complete. Releasing main room lock.
And we have finished the, like I said, puzzle. We just hit all the things. And now we can view the last data, data number 9. Observation regarding Melissa Ortiz, female investigator placed in the 1875th Special Ops Command immediately following her graduation from the Federation Police Academy. A no-nonsense woman with a strong sense of personal justice. Quick to act on her convictions, she often led her team into danger. In TC 4667, she was held for questioning by the Federation Police as a suspect in the pilgrimage meeting case. She was later released and placed in a medical facility on the grounds of her unsound mental health. Shortly after her release, she disappeared. Her name resurfaced in TC 4669, crediting her for the creation of Scientia, a unification of several anti-UMN terrorist groups from around the star cluster. And that is all the data here. So let us see what awaits us inside there. I'm just going to spoil it. It's more data. I can't destroy any of these now. What are you going to do? Head over here. This is quite a lot of data. Let's just download it and check it out later. Download the data? Indeed I will. And we have acquired update file 05. And against Chaos's wishes, we're going to look at it now. Because, well, it's relevant now. And as you can see, we're really close now to completing the database. We only have 2% to go, just characters and unknown to go. We've completed everything else. First, we have Ernest Luis, the person appointed chief of the 1875th Special Ops. Wait. Yeah, this is what we have read before. So, we read those already. We have an update to Voyager. Before becoming a testament, he was a Federation police inspector named Erik Weber. Erik, formerly a UMN net addict, was struck with fear at the end of the end that Udu would bring. Ultimately, this contact brought about in him an unslackable thirst for power, unslakable. You know, after they screw up a couple lines, now I'm questioning like every word they give me. Assuming the name Voyager, he derived pleasure from assimilating the consciousness of other people into his network and controlling them, hoping to eventually ascend to a level of being equal to Udo. Why is it everybody that gets in contact with Udo wants to be his equal? Once he realized his wish would never be fulfilled while he remained bound by his human shell, he chose to cast aside his physical body and became a testament. Throughout his fight with Ziggy, he takes joy in exploiting the emotions in Ziggy's heart. Once again, like, it's kind of over the top creepy. It's not even kind of creepy. It's over the top. Like, I'm not entirely sure what the end game is or was supposed to be with Voyager and Ziggy there. Originally from planet Abraxas, this is Eric Weber, his prefrontal cortex has been damaged since early childhood. His compensatory habit of constructing a working memory within the UMN brought with it the side effect of net addiction. Though his ID showed him to be 28 years old at the time of TC 4667, his true age is believed to be over 150 years old. His official occupation was as a police officer, and his role was to provide external support as an operator to members diving into virtual space through the UMN. Additionally, one of his major responsibilities was to operate Bugs, the support robot. Oh, Bugs. Then we have an update to the Black Testament. A black cloak follower of Wilhelm, he appears before Shion and the others several times as a testament. Ziggy called him Voyager, suggesting that the two shared some connection in the past. Because it's Voyager, so it's Voyager's testament form, which I think is the only thing that got updated there. See, Voyager. Now we do have Canaan. Right, we saw all that. Canaan was... See, like you misspelled it there. It says Canaan there. Canaan was installed with program Canaan, and the recording component personality used was that of Lactis, a subordinate of Ziggy during his time as a Federation police officer. From the fact that Canaan's memories of the Federation police returned even after the recording component had been reformatted, it was deduced that the memories and consciousness of Realians exist, like humans, within the realm of the collective unconscious. The special characteristics of Program Canaan allowed him to secure a bypass route to Wilhelm's power. Canaan, cleverly using Voyager's desires, connected Voyager's consciousness with that power, causing Voyager to overflow and destroying him along with Canaan's own body. Apparently, he overflowed. Then we do have Klaus Torres. We have Kayla, which we saw. We have an update to Ziggy. We'll start there. The final rank he held in life was Detachment Captain for the 1875th Special Ops Command. Notice how we didn't have observations on him, though. He later worked on tracking the Voyager incident with Melissa Ortiz, founder of Scientia, and Lactis, a Canaan-type Realian in the Special Investigation Unit. During his time in the detachment unit, his and Voyager's relationship was that of superior and subordinate. Voyager sensed the loneliness in Ziggy's heart and invited him to join the Testaments, but Ziggy decisively rejected Voyager's temptations by shooting himself in the head. Seems like there could have been a couple other ways to resist, but, he had other reasons for that as well. There we go. In TC 4667, he died in the line of duty while pursuing Voyager. According to reports, he shot himself in the head as the result of a psychological instability brought on by the pressures of the long-term investigation. A registered organ donor, his remains were ultimately collected by Ziggurat Industries, because it's Ziggy. Then we do have Sean McCallum, who we did see a bit of. Next up, we do have Zora, who we did read as well, and Darnold Marquand, who we did see. Miky Aortsmann, once again we saw. Melissa Ortiz. Yeah, we read all that too. Now we do have Lactis, early era Realian, posted as a test model to the Federation Police 1875th Special Ops Command. Built to look like a human youth, he specialized in collecting and analyzing data for the UMN. His responsibilities as a Special Forces member focused on those strengths. Furthermore, Lactis was one of the early-era Realians that had been installed with Program Canaan. Although the true purpose of Program Canaan is unknown, it appears to have been a system thought up by Wilhelm as a way to detect people with a special trait, which would allow them to become a testament. I was about to say, are they not going to give us the information they just did? No, they're just saying that's not enough information, which I kind of agree with. As a result of Project Canaan's top-secret development within Vector, even its development process is unknown. Absolutely no materials remain concerning it. Because the program is built into the base system within the brainstem at the construction phase, even the Realian in question is unaware of its presence. It can be deduced that Lactis himself was unaware of the fact that he carried Program Canaan within his body. So he didn't even know. Next up we do have Unknown. Should just be one or two things here. An update to Program Canaan. The general term for a group of systems that searches for the people with the special factors necessary to become a testament suitable for a vessel of anima. Its basic outline was devised by Vector. I think we read that before. I'll read it again, I guess. During the dawn of Realian development, it was installed in a very small number of units and integrated into their basic brainstem systems. Regardless of their own will, Realians who have been installed with this program have the role of judging suitable people and helping them awaken their abilities. Although these Realians are few in number, that is simply relative to the total number of Realians that have been produced, especially taking into consideration that they were meant to be deployed across the entire galaxy. Development was conducted under top-secret conditions within Vector. Only a limited number of top executives knew of its existence. Realians with Program Canaan implants are recovered by Vector after they have fulfilled their given role. By the mid-4700s, over 99% of them had completed their given task. However, Canaan, who has another role, is reportedly still deployed somewhere in the galaxy. The data collected by one Canaan is immediately uploaded to Vector's database and automatically distributed to other Canaans. Certain types of data, however, have a barrier placed on them controlling their distribution. Seemed like all of that was new. They just said it was an update. Either way, that is it for Unknown. Now we do have a history of Abraxas. In TC 4667 on the planet Abraxas in the demilitarized zone, a meeting was held in order to improve relations between the Galaxy Federation and the immigrant fleet. And there, in that place of discussion inside virtual space, an incident occurred in which the Goodwill Ambassador and diplomats were imprisoned. The Galaxy Federation Police 1875th Special Ops Command dispatched a special investigation unit to the planet Abraxas with Jan Sauer as its captain. The name that came up as a suspect was Voyager. Besides that code name, nothing about him was known at all. He was a mass murderer who had committed one heinous crime after another, targeting women and children. When Jan arrived at the scene of the crime, he initiated a dive into the virtual space and hurried to the location where the ambassador was being held. Near where the diplomats were being held, they came under attack by macrophages. That attack resulted in the deletion of one of Jan's comrades, Erik Weber. Deletion? Being deleted in virtual space means death in the real world as well. At great cost, Jan's group arrived at the diplomats' location, but what they saw there was a group of young children performing self-deletion and ending their own lives. After the incident, the Special Investigation Unit rejoiced when Erik miraculously came back to life, but the doctor who visited them, Sharon Rosas, declared that Erik's recovery was unthinkable under normal circumstances. Without finding even a single clue towards solving the ambassador kidnapping incident, a new mass murder incident occurred. The target this time was the designer children known as Salvatore's children. The children had been embryos in a nursing plant, genetically modified and intended to be raised for important positions in government. Voyager was once again suspected, but the Special Investigation Unit was unable to confirm it. Not long after the incident at the nursing plant, a party sponsored by the Torres Foundation was planned to be held inside the UMN. Even the head of the immigrant fleet, Patriarch Julius himself, was to be invited to this large-scale party. Wary of terrorism by Voyager, the members of the Special Investigation Unit stood guard. Suddenly, Irene Torres, the president of the Torres Foundation, suffered a seizure. She spoke a series of mysterious words and then collapsed. Certain that this incident was Voyager's work, the Special Investigation Unit moved to catch the perpetrator in a trap. Jan's team caught up to the suspect, Klaus, but he killed himself before their very eyes. To obtain information about the incident, Jan pushed aside Sharon's objections and performed a dive into Klaus's brain. Gazing into Klaus's memory, Jan's group learned that Klaus had been collecting something called endorphin programs and had been doing so in preparation for meeting someone. Jan once again visited Sharon's residence to hear the results of her investigation. Sharon told him that the endorphins he had obtained had the effect of stimulating activity in a certain part of the brain, because it's an endorphin. Sharon also told him that both the diplomats and those who had provided DNA to the nursing plant had been pure-blooded Abraxas natives. The people of Abraxas and all descendants of the immigrant fleet are born with that part of their brain developed. Sharon, too, had the blood of the immigrant fleet in her veins. She told Jan that the citizens of Abraxas had once been called the people of Zohar. At the end of numerous difficult battles, the Special Investigation Unit finally discovered Voyager's identity. However, the person they found was not the hideous monster they had expected, but someone they had never even imagined. Voyager said that he had the power of the Zohar, and that to fulfill his contract with Udu, he must gather large amounts of endorphins. Jan was certain from Voyager's words that his next target was the pilgrimage meeting, where large numbers of Abraxas citizens would gather. Sharon and Joaquin, too, were participating at the cathedral where the pilgrimage meeting was taking place. The Zohar began to glow, as if responding to the prayers of the participants. The space around it turned to crystal, and the participants disappeared, one after another. Voyager and Jan faced off before the awakening Zohar to fulfill his contract with Udu. Voyager ended the lives of his final targets, Sharon and Joaquin, Ziggy's adopted family. For the first time, Jan saw Voyager's crime with his own eyes. The bodies of Sharon and Joaquin lay before him. His world overcome with despair, his fight with Voyager entered its final stage. But Jan stood no chance against Voyager, the Testament. As his only method of resisting Voyager's will, Jan ended his own life. And thus is the story of Ziggy. For more information, please consult your local Pied Piper. Seriously, how was that not a full game? That was awesome. I would say that was on par, if not better, than any summary that we had of the previous two games. You know what I mean? So the fact that did not become a full game is just sad. You know, it became essentially a visual novel, but there are a couple battles that you are in control of. But it was only released in Japanese. If you want to read it in English, that's the only option to. You can read it in English. There's no battles. Now, I don't believe I can actually go through here. The gate is currently locked, just like I thought. The enemies are gone around here too? I believe they are. And this is the south gate. You need to press the switch in order to open it, but after all that, I need to take a drink.